Hello, everyone. Before I start, I have never been, I am a person who's based in Mumbai, India. I have never been out of my country before. Uh, and the two times that I have come out of my country, it's been Dubai. So I'm really grateful for Dubai because uh, it's not only a pleasure to be down here, but it's also been a blessing to my life. Thank you. So before I go ahead and tell you about what does Nevis investment do, before that I want to just give you a gist of who I am, what I do, and why am I here. So to give you a gist, I have been in the finance space from the last 9 years. Uh, going back to my childhood days, I was never very strong when it came to memorizing things, but when it came to numbers, I could solve maths solutions and problems without actually knowing whether it was right or wrong. The answers came to me very naturally, but when it came to my memory power, I was not that strong. So literally my mom and dad had to pray for me to even pass my exams. But when it came to maths, I was a guy who would get 90 plus. So I believe that this is a gift from God, which is very divine, and which has allowed me to become what I am today. So over time in my life, I made sure that whatever I do, it should involve numbers very specifically. So that is how I applied for banking exams. I got into ICICI Bank, which is one of the largest private limited banks in India. And they very specifically placed me in the capital markets. That is where I got exposed to the trading markets, derivative markets. That is where I got exposed to commodity, forex. And my journey began. Every part of this world excited me. The charts, the graphs. I could spend around 16 to 18 hours just being in that world and not feeling bored a bit. So over the last 9 years, to give you a gist, I have been a professional financial planner since the last 9 years, guiding people very specifically in the area of finance, structuring their finance, guiding them in their investments, and at the same time making sure that whatever plan they execute, it should be making financial sense. So this is where people call me on their boards, on their trust. I work with corporates where I specifically structure their finances. So over the last 8, 9 years, there's a routine that we have where we spend 6 to 8 hours just studying the new trends, just exposing ourselves and keeping ourselves updated, me and my brother specifically, Elijah Nevis. We have had this routine of studying. And okay, to be honest, I have never been a crypto investor in the past because I was always in structured finance. So whenever we discussed ideas and plans, we made sure, because in a country like India, we have to be very sure that everything is regulated in a decent way. The very reason about crypto that never got me excited was something fundamental. They say, like for example, in India, when you have a business and you want to raise money from the public, you issue an initial public offering, that's an IPO. For that, you come onto an exchange. And that is how you start trading, you're traded on the exchange. So the model is, you have a business, the business share stock trades on the exchange. So the business is a reason of why the stock is traded on the exchange. Based on the business performance, the volumes of the stock go on the buy side or the sell side. So when I was exposed to crypto, they just told me that there was a coin on the exchange and not very specifically about the business model in the background. So it eventually never made sense to me. But I believed, many of my friends told me that something like Bitcoin and Ethereum is categorized in the same class as gold. So I said to them honestly, like, okay, it makes sense for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and few more coins to be in the category of gold. But it does not make sense for around 30,000 or more than that tokens or coins to be trading on an exchange without any fundamental reason on the background. So this was one of the reasons why it never made sense to me to be part of this space. But eventually over time, when we exposed ourselves to more ideas, and I came across this particular space called decentralized finance. So what is decentralized finance? Decentralized finance allows you to create financial instruments or to create combination of instruments which can create an outcome. To give you in short, this space is very new. It's hardly 3 years. And when we were exploring and trying to study this place, we knew that this space is something that can really develop into something great. And when we were studying and came across a few protocols, we seen a few systems, and we struck an idea. I repeat, we struck an idea, and the idea excited me so much. The idea made sense to me so much that we are not only investors, but we actually came out with our own protocol. So before I present the protocol to you, I want to tell you something, that how confident we are about the entire protocol. We were so confident that I planned to give my own name to it. My name is Joshua Nevis. Nevis is my last name. So you know that there's a lot at stake over here for sure. So to give you a gist of what is Nevis Investments. Before that, I'll just explain to you what is the existing model of traditional banks. You have something called deposits and loans. So the banking system's businesses, the difference between deposits and loans is the revenue of the bank. Okay? I'll go slow over here. The existing banking system is deposits minus loans. Sorry, loans minus deposits. So the difference between the rates is the revenue of the traditional banks. And at the same time, the traditional banks have a stock or share that is traded on the exchange. Okay? So whenever the stock is traded on the exchange, there is no revenue generated for the banks. Okay? And at the same time, they are making revenue just from one source. Loans minus deposits. So what we did over here is that when we were exposed to the DeFi space, we seen it is possible to create an instrument over here. So what we did is, we created a platform called Nevis Treasure. So what is Nevis Treasure? Nevis Treasure is a platform whose revenue model is that whenever the token is traded on the exchange, whenever the token is bought or sold on the exchange, there is a 5% fee. The 5% fee on the buy and sell is the revenue of Nevis Treasure. And in turn, Nevis Treasure takes that funds and shares it with its bonds holders. Now I'll explain in short. So let me explain, just to get this right. Nevis Treasure has a token that is traded on the exchange called Nevis token. Whenever the token is bought or sold, there's a 5% fee that is applied, and the 5% fee is the revenue of the Nevis Treasure. This is one part of the element, one part of Nevis Treasure. The second part is, there's something called bond that we have created on the platform. So whenever an investor lends to the system, whenever the investor lends to Nevis Treasure creates a 365-day smart contract. Okay? A 365-day smart contract. In this contract, let's take for example over here. Whenever you lend to Nevis Treasure 100,000 BUSD, this is just an example. Whenever you invest in Nevis Treasure, 100,000 BUSD, there's a 10% platform fee that is applied, which leaves you with $90,000. After that, you are paid 0.6027% on your $90,000. That comes down to $542. The $542, when you claim it every day, every 24 hours, you're left with $488. Now, the $488 you're seeing over here includes your principal and rewards. Okay? The $488 that you're seeing over here is your principal and rewards. $488 into a 365-day smart contract is $178,000. That is 78% APR. After 365 days, the contract ends. Okay? So let me take it again. Nevis Treasure has a token that is traded on the exchange, and that token, there's a 5% fee charged, which feeds the Nevis Treasure. Okay? So this is the revenue model for Nevis Treasure. In turn, there are investors who come onto the platform of Nevis Treasure and lend to the Nevis Treasure. Nevis Treasure, in turn, creates a 365-day smart contract. And in turn, it pays you $488. The $488 that you see over here is your principal and rewards inclusive. 488 into 365 days is $178,000. This includes your principal and interest, and then the contract ends. So in short, this is the chart flow of the entire process. Whenever the token is traded on the exchange, there's a 5% buy and sell fees applied. The 5% buy and sell fee goes to Nevis Treasure. In turn, Nevis Treasure pays it to the bondholders. So now you'll ask me, will there be enough volumes generated on Nevis Treasure to actually pay the bondholders in this manner? Okay? So let us assume Nevis Treasure, Nevis token that is traded on the exchange. For now, we have created a model of, we have created a pair of Nevis and BUSD. Then we are going to create Nevis and Binance, Nevis and Ethereum, and Nevis and Bitcoin. So we will be having a total of 4 pairs on the exchange. And apart from that, we will be listing on multiple exchanges. And on multiple exchanges, we will be having multiple pairs. So what we understand is, when you have multiple pairs, the price of those tokens, for example, Binance, BNB, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, they are always affected by external factors, and their price may go in any range. This allows arbitrage opportunities to be created and generate enough revenue for Nevis Treasure. And Nevis Treasure, in turn, shares it with its bondholders. Our entire setup has been audited by Cyberscope, which is based in Cyprus. For now, we are listed on PancakeSwap, which is one of the leading decentralized exchanges in the world. Our entire setup has been created in such a manner, the smart contract is coded in such a way that you can only extract funds from Nevis Treasure only if you are a bond holder. So for now, we have around $40,000 invested in bonds, and we have around $640,000 in the treasury. We also have made sure that whenever the statistics that are on our website are generated from the Binance Smart Chain. So all the figures that you see when you go to Nevis Treasure are from the Binance Smart Chain. We are right now only in the form of a website, which is actually an interface which allows you to access the Binance blockchain. So the best thing about this system is the numbers that I mentioned. There is no minimum and no maximum amount. You can start with only $1. You can start with $1. And the best thing about this system is that you have cash flows that start from the very next day. So you don't have to wait at the end of 1 month, at the end of 1 year, but from the very next day, there are cash flows that allow you to claim your rewards. And we are at booth number 21. So if any of you have any questions, we will be really happy to answer it. Thank you. And before I end, we were at Money Expo India as well, wherein, keeping in mind the reason why we come to expos, rather than just marketing it through digital media, we thought that here we can rather explain to you the mechanism behind it, rather than just pushing out numbers everywhere. The best thing is, here we raise funds in the form of Binance dollar and pay out to you in Binance dollar. Yeah? Thank you. Thank you so much.